Sometimes we don't even realize the power of God, even though it's right around us in our everyday. One of the most amazing adventures that we got to take during our trip in Tennessee was actually right down the mountain from the place that we were staying. You see, we got to stay in a place right above Douglas Dam. The house that we were staying on was actually on a mountain, and it overlooked the water and the mountains and the trees, but there was one problem. You see, before we could go down there, it rained a whole lot that first day, and we wanted to go down there, but the rain was just too much. And honestly, as a mama that doesn't know how to drive in the mountains, well, I wasn't gonna try to drive down in the rain. So we waited till the next day, and we were so excited because the person that we were staying with told us, Bethany, you are gonna love this place. You see, you go down, you follow these signs to Douglas Dam, and you'll see these amazing rocks that the kids can climb on. There'll be a place over to the side where you can have a nice picnic. It's just amazing, and I honestly saw the pictures, and you guys, I got so excited. If you can picture for a Florida girl to have all of these rocks surrounded by water and then with the mountains in the background, I was so excited to get there. So the next day we gathered up all of our belongings, and the boys were excited, I was excited, and we were off on an adventure. We punched in the GPS to Douglas Dam, and we made one side trip to the dam store. Take a look.
Mom, take me to the dam store.
Okay, so after we got done with the dam store, we finally did go to the Douglas Dam Park. We pulled in, we saw some water, but there were no rocks. So the boys decided, well, Mom, here's a trail. So we'll go off on the trail, and we found so many trees and great artifacts, but you guys, I'm not kidding. We could not find the rocks, and we could not find the water that was in the picture. Stick around and we'll tell you more about the story about how God's power showed up in an amazing way. So here we were on this trail. We knew we were near Douglas Dam because we saw this huge body of water, but we're on this trail and all we could see were trees and amazing old artifacts that they still had collected on the side of the road from the dam that was made. But we could not find the huge rocks that we could climb on. We could not find the picnic tables that were there. And y'all, I wanted my water with the mountains. So here we are walking through this trail. We spent some great time in there. Well, here's some of our adventure. Hey, so we're still at Douglas Dam, and here's some core samples that they had from the rocks. We totally took a side trip because I don't think we knew where this was going, but we're trying to figure out where to go now, huh? Oh, sorry, what did you say?
A snake.
Black and yellow. Don't go anywhere near that snake, y'all. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, y'all. That was a snake. A black and yellow snake. There was no water. There was no rocks. We found a snake. Okay, so after we made it through the trail, I had the bright idea to check out the gift shop because, I mean, hello, why can't you not go to the gift shop? It's the thing you do. So I went in the gift shop and we talked to the lady there and said, okay, I have a question. I'm not always the smartest bird in the shop, but I noticed that my friend showed me these pictures of these rocks and there was water in the background and mountains, and I mean, we didn't see it. Are we missing that somewhere? Because we can't find it anywhere. Can you please show us where this is? And the lady kind of laughed, and then she pointed out the window. She pointed out to this big scene right where we were parked, right where our car was parked, and you could tell there was water, there was mountains, but still no rocks. And I said, no, there's no rocks. There's no rocks for my kids to climb on. They were so excited about coming down here to climb on the rocks. And she's like, oh, honey, bless your heart. Tennessee, we're in Tennessee. I mean, they have to say that. Oh, honey, bless your heart. Those rocks were covered by the rain yesterday. The huge rocks, a couple feet above the ground, were covered by rain in one day. And she said, oh yeah, that happens all the time here. The water's pretty powerful. And it just hit me that we missed it, that we had no idea that the rocks were even there. So we parked the car, and the boys and I had to get them to do a picture because it's kind of a thing. So I made us do a picture in front of the water, in front of the mountains, And I took a minute and I just looked over at the rocks that were covered by all this water that we completely missed. And I thought for myself, just for a second, wow, the power of God is so amazing that he can cover rocks that are feet high in a matter of hours. This water, this dam that was built was actually created because they needed an energy source. They knew that the power of water was so powerful that they knew that they had to build a dam in order to withstand it, in order to hold it. There's so much history in that. And I didn't realize I was coming down there just for the beauty of it, but God taught me a powerful lesson that day. That his power is all around us if we would just stop just long enough to rest in it. Just stop just long enough to see that it's there, to see what he's doing. And it was in our everyday moment. This wasn't just a special occurrence. This happened time and time again down there in the Douglas Dam area. In fact, it was so familiar that the lady laughed and said it actually happens all the time. In fact, she said just 2 days earlier, there was a family down there having a picnic just like normal and jumping and skipping over the rocks. How quickly things can change. How quickly and amazing is the power of God in our lives. But I was just so overtaken by the beauty and the power in that moment that I pulled off to the side of the road. I got out and I just looked. And there was this overlook that you could see the whole entire body of water and the mountains in the background. And I just sat there and I just had a moment with God, and I captured some of it on camera.
When I think about the Psalms, and like especially some of those that David wrote, I know he wasn't here, but this is what comes to mind. It's just mountains and then water. So pretty. And so I just could, honestly, if I was here by myself, I could literally just spend hours out here. It's so pretty. So, yeah.
The very God that can cover rocks with just water has the power to raise the dead to life, has the power to make the darkness into day, has the power to make the stars stand in place, has the power to change our lives. That is in our everyday. We get to see that power in our everyday if we'll just be still enough to notice it. And sometimes, especially when our lives get hard, especially when we have the audacity to feel hopeless and scared, and the reality of everything going on, there's also the reality of the power of God that's right there, right within our grasp, and we'll just take the time to realize it. You see, the verse that came to me that day as I was out overlooking the whole entire water was Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. And this is a very familiar verse, but it just spoke to me so loud that day. It says, and this is God saying, "My thoughts are nothing like your thoughts, says the Lord. And my ways are beyond anything you could imagine. For just the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts." How cool is that? That his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and his ways are higher than our ways. That it's so much more, that we don't have to have it all figured out, that we can stand in the power of God and just go, God, you are amazing. That I don't understand anything that you're doing in my life, but I understand that you are all powerful, that you are all knowing, that you and your ways are perfect. Sometimes we just have to do that and just stop and recognize what God's doing in our life. So I have a challenge for you and some questions. First of all, get to a quiet spot and just ask God, God, how can I enjoy and be overcome by your power today? And ask God, God, what is one way that you have demonstrated your power in my life recently? One of the practical ways that I've learned that I can understand God's power in my life is to do a daily gratitude challenge. In fact, my boys know that it comes on my phone, a reminder every day at 9 a.m. that says, do the gratitude challenge. Now, before I used to just think of one way that God has displayed his power in my life, but I started to go deeper with that, because anytime in your life, especially when changes are going on in your life, you want to go deeper with that because you really want to make it concrete. You want to be able to tie some senses and emotions with that moment, because sometimes the realness of the pain, the realness of the struggle that's going on has a tendency to outweigh God's power because we don't look at it. We don't look at it long enough. We're so busy looking at the storms in our life, we don't look at God's power and what he's already doing. But God, can you please show me one area in my life where you have demonstrated your power. One area in my life in the last week where I can be thankful and really just do that gratitude challenge. And then when you do that, write it out or speak it out and tie emotions with it. Make sure you talk about your senses. What did you hear in that moment? What did you see in that moment? What did you smell in that moment? What did you touch in that moment? How did God interact with you in that moment? Did he touch you in a certain way? Did you feel something in your body? Did you feel peace in a whole new way? Where in your body did you feel that? Spend some time and maybe even tell a friend or spend some time journaling that out. When I sat there, and the reason I really did that video when I was out there and just overwhelmed by the power of God, I wanted to remember it because I didn't have time right there with my boys in the car to sit there and write out a journal entry. But I wanted to capture it in a way that I knew that I could look back later and go, wow, God, you are so powerful. Not only did you get us here to Tennessee, you allowed us to see your power in a new, practical, everyday way. And the really amazing part about doing this exercise every day is that you see the power of God in your everyday and you see him moving. In fact, it's easier to take your eyes off the storms, to take your eyes off of the fear, off of the unknown in your life, and you can look at the very practical, very real, very personal ways that God's already interacting. So let's do this. Let's stop long enough to realize the power of God. The same power of God that can send water over rocks in a matter of days and change the whole entire scenery. That same God wants to do powerful things in our lives right here and right now. Are you ready? Dare to do more than just survive. Step out and thrive.
We're at Douglas Dam in the middle of a lot of stuff, which I just decided to start recording. Holy cow. Whoa, hold on.
Yeah, Mom.
Now, that would have been great. Going down on camera.
What's up?
Here's the hole.
Okay, here's the hole.
A hole.
A hole. So,
We are recording a hole. Josh.
I'm not gonna go close to it. I'm just gonna go.
yeah.
There's a snake over here, but I can't. No, I think it is because it's black and yellow.
Yeah.
At the dam, so